My name is Christy Ravel. I was adopted as a child at birth, so adoption is near to me. And my husband, Ken Ravel, and I both adopted Brianna. The reason we pursued adoption is we couldn't have a child, so we decided to adopt. We started an international adoption, which took about 18 months, and then they froze adoptions from Russia, so we couldn't adopt. Carrie Owens came to me at church to let me know that her brother knew somebody in Warner Robins that was pregnant, and she was my age and did not want to keep the child. She already had a 16-year-old. Let's see, God was involved in this all over the place. With Carrie Owens, when we first started adopting for 18 months and filling out the paperwork, there were times I wanted to give up, and he kept telling me no, to go on, you can do it. Then Carrie Owens came to us in church, and us finding somebody so close by. And then the other thing, we had actually decorated the nursery for a girl, and we had no idea if we were adopting a girl or a boy. We just knew we wanted to adopt, and we had a little girl. But God worked through Carrie, Jeff Richards, the church. He gave us strength, He gave us love, and He gave us Brianna. I would highly recommend adoption. And if anybody needs any help with it, I'll be glad to help. There are plenty of children out there that need homes, that need love, whether they're in foster care or just being born. They need somebody. This is Brianna Ravel. This is our child. Along with Ken Ravel, this is our family, and we love her. Wouldn't trade you for the world.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Kelly. This is my husband, Kevin Kelly. Our history with adoption is that we have adopted 2 children, one from Russia and one from China.
We kind of followed the normal plan, got married, and decided at some point to start having kids, and we weren't getting pregnant, had been through some of the medical procedures to try to get pregnant, and it wasn't happening. So at some point I said to Rhonda, you want to consider adoption? And we decided to pursue it and see how it worked.
With the Russian adoption with our son, it went very quickly. From start to finish, it only took about 8 months. For our second adoption with our daughter in China, it was supposed to be quick. It was supposed to be about 6 months or so, because that's about how long they were taking at the time. And we got all the paperwork done and in. We got logged in July, and then in September they hit a slowdown, a snag. And it was, her process was, I guess it was God's timing, because she would not have been even born at that time. It took a whole total of 20 months.
What it's shown us is that that God will make it happen. It just may not be the way we think it ought to happen. He'll make it happen in the way His plan is planned out, and in the way it was meant by Him to work. But He will make it happen. You know, the adoption process is not cheap. When our son came along, my wife quit working, so our expenses went up and our
income went down.
And so I had it in my head that we might not do another adoption just because of the cost, but
it was definitely worth it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it's been an awesome ride. It's like like any part of being a parent. It's a roller coaster. It's up and down. It's exciting at times. It's scary at times. It's confusing at times. But it's worth it every step of the way. And
definitely a lot more paperwork.
Yeah. I do believe adopting requires a few more pieces of paper than normal childbirth.
Yep.
But it doesn't cause the same weight gain. So this is our son Nicholas from Russia. He's 14, been with us for 13 years, 13 and a half now. And next to him, our daughter Autumn from China, who's been with us, I guess, 10 years of her 11 years now.
This is our family.
My name is Jennifer Rogers. My husband and I were foster parents for Douglas County DFACS from 2003 to 2009. Over the course of those 6 years, we fostered approximately 70 children. We have 2 children of our own. In 2002, we gave birth to our youngest son. He was 7.5 weeks premature, and he was immediately transferred to a NICU in Columbus, Georgia, where he spent a couple of weeks. As the days and the nights went on, I began to notice that there were a lot of other babies around me. And so I eventually reached out to the nurses and said, hey, can I hold another one? Can I, there were so many times, so many hours where babies would just cry and cry because there wasn't enough hands to go around. And so I was given the opportunity to hold some other babies. So I enjoyed holding those babies, but eventually my baby got to go home. So we went home and began our life as a family of 4, and I could not get those babies out of my mind, those other babies that needed love and needed attention, and I knew that God was urging me to do something in that arena. I just wasn't sure what. I didn't necessarily want to change the dynamic of our family. I just wanted to see where I could help. I could just see myself rocking those babies some more, really. We got a phone call and said, we have a 9-month-old baby boy. Could we place him in your home? And we said, sure. So all of a sudden we had a family of 5 for a short period of time. And it's really a blur from there. We had so many children in and out of our home. We were constantly turning a blue bedroom into a pink bedroom, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a whole lot of life in 6 years. Not all of it was fun, not all of it was easy. There's so many facets to fostering. There's the relationship with the children. There's the relationships between your birth children and foster children in your home. For us individually, we felt that God was calling us to foster one child at a time under the age of our children's ages. However, we became friends with caseworkers. You do a lot of life when you get calls from the same poor lady at 3 a.m. that is looking for someone to hold a baby until morning. It is hard to say no, and we built such good relationships with them that unfortunately at times we didn't do what God asked of us, and we took in more than we should have. But we wanted to help those caseworkers that would call us so late in the night, and all they wanted to do was go home after a long day of work and said, I promise I'll find another place in the morning. And ultimately that is what led us to take a break in 2009. Fostering is absolutely a huge life-changing commitment. But if this is something that you feel that the Lord is asking you to do, it is definitely worthwhile. Every heartbreak, every hard choice, every relationship that it will build, and for every child that you have in your home.
My name is R.A. Fraker, and my wife Melissa and I are the proud parents of our adopted son, Brooks. I remember very clearly the day we got the call for the adoption. I was working for a company, a very small company, and I was the only person in the office that day. It's a company of 50 people, and I'm the only person in the office. Everybody was out doing some celebration at work, and I was working on a project. And Melissa called me on the phone, and she said, hey, we need to talk. And I said, I can't talk right now, I'm really busy. And she said, no, we need to talk now. There is a baby. And of course my thought is, it's not like you're sitting around at home, it's like, oh, it's time, let's go to the hospital. It was something that you couldn't plan for. It's not like you could see your wife pregnant and you could see her growing. This was just kind of an out of the blue, oh, guess what? You're just about to be a father. So we drove to Savannah, where we met for the first time our son Brooks. And he was so small. Brooks was full term, but he weighed 4 pounds, and golly, 6 ounces, I believe, 4 pounds, 6 ounces, little bitty fella. And you would never know that now, because Brooks is 10 years old, and he's, oh golly, he's close to 5 feet tall. So we took our newborn son home from Savannah immediately. This is our baby. I mean, it's not really so much different when you have your own natural child and you adopt a child, because the fact is, this is our child. This is what we had worked for, and it's not the same kind of work, but it's the same sort of anticipation. You know it's out there, but as opposed to a 9-month window, it's kind of a who knows how long window. But when the baby arrives, the excitement is the same. I'm just a parent, just like everybody else, and yet people will walk up and say, "Oh, you're such a good father," or "You're such a good mother." No, I'm not that good. I'm just a dad. That's what I do, and that's the gift that I was given. And every day I'm thankful for that gift. Both of my sons, I'm thankful. I didn't ask for Norrie disease. I asked for a son, or I asked for a child. I didn't ask for a son. I asked for a child. God gave me a child. God gave me the child I'm supposed to have. And I am so ridiculously lucky to have the one that He gave me. We got the pick of the litter, plain and simple.